Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at MMAT, metamaterials, and how the reverse stock split 1 for 100 is going to affect you in terms of the share price and also the number of shares. We're also going to be looking at significant broker concerns that are being identified and also looking at some important questions for MMTLP that could be asked to Ralph Norman in the important interview going forward this week. And then we're going to be finishing off by having a quick review of the weekly watch list and also sharing with you a new IPO stock that we're watching this week. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first headline here from Yahoo Finance at a Fed meeting, big tech earnings and the January jobs report. What to know this week? So obviously it's a huge week for earnings. So 5 of the big 7 tech stocks, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, are going to have earnings being reported, and we also have significant dates to be aware of this week. So if we have a look at the US economic data, then obviously we have consumer confidence on Tuesday, we have the Fed FOMC rate decision on Wednesday, jobless claims on Thursday, and also the unemployment rate on Friday. So hopefully good news there. And finally, shout out here to Pocahontas, who's continuing with the theme of short sellers. And what she stated here is we're looking at South Korea, Thailand, Malaysia, India, China. I think I'd add on to the UK that are talking about it now as well. And who's in the last place in the global race to reform markets? Unfortunately, it's the US and also the SEC. So Europe is also quietly trying to focus on this issue, but the US certainly needs to make much more significant moves. Let's now get straight into how the 1 for 100 reverse stock split will affect you for metamaterials MMAT in terms of your number of your shares and the average price. So on the screen here, first of all, the important thing to note is the overall market cap and value of the company will remain the same. Obviously, this will change according to the share price once the market opens. But let's say, for example, you had 100 shares of metamaterials. From Monday, once trading opens, you will only see 1 share. If you had 1,000 shares, you will now have only 10 shares. If you had 10,000 shares, you will now have only 100 shares. So the reason why the market cap and the value of the company remains the same. So previously, if your average price was $5, now the average price will be $500. If your average price was $1 last week, your average price will now be $100 per share. And if your average price was a healthy 0.25 cents, which is still significantly high compared to the current price that it is being traded at, your average price now will be $25. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Monday. But as far as the history of reverse stock splits goes, the markets always react badly to them. Most investors are not in favor of this, and they have been taken by surprise in terms of why the board did this. Obviously the board are saying it is to maintain NASDAQ compliance, so that's something that we'll have to see. So following on from yesterday's video, shout out here to Pocahontas, who's responded to the video and stated obviously brokers are nervous of what MMAT's reverse stock split, especially the preferred C shares, might flush out. Some like E-Trade and Schwab have certainly jumped the gun before the SEC even releases the 8K. So this is something that we covered in the previous video, and she also states here no such thing as a coincidence in trading. And what Meta has stated here is maybe why some of the brokers jump gun on converting MMAT before the filing drop. They want to get the orders filled at DTCC before it's full, and they're stuck holding the check. So MMAT should pull that 8K like BETS did and catch them all up. So interesting, let's see what happens. And it's also calling following the rules. So that the rules is something that we also covered in the previous video, and that rule was covering the trading halt C1. So go ahead and have a look at the previous video where we explained the T1. So many opportunities. They could be fighting for fines, from also looking at market manipulation. So let's see what happens going forward. And another interesting post from Costas I want you to share with you here. He's just logged into his Webull account, and he states here he's got a new QSIP number 8AQ9925, probably just a placeholder in my opinion, but it appears to be tagged to a grey market quote according to ChatGPT. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there's anything to read into this. I don't think there is a grey market imminent for MMTLP, but everybody else who does have Webull account for MMTLP, go ahead and check that out. But in my opinion, there is no grey market that is imminent. So if we look at MMTLP now, we know this is a huge week. So shout out here to Dennis, who stated in terms of the MMTLP fiasco, tell me 3 key questions that you want me to ask Representative Ralph Norman. Just 3. So this is your opportunity to go ahead and check out Dennis's post and add your questions on there. So the 3 I'm going to share with you here are from MetaHead, who's posted number 1, why does the US exchange promote a fair market yet regulators and oversight can't show transparency after 415 days still ongoing? So great question there. Number 2, why don't they crack down on off-exchange dark pool when MMAT has seen 60 to 70% daily since obviously MMTLP came into existence? And number 3, why are not regulators halting MMAT until MMTLP is made whole? Release the blue sheets and the share count. I think that question I'm sure Ralph already knows about, and he's heard that many times. And no more shorts in a private company. Certainly believe that should be implemented. It's not really brain surgery. The questions are more or less common sense, and I hope it's not a case of asking questions. It's more of a case of, will Gary Gensler provide substantial answers, and will he be held to account? Let's now have a look at the IPO stock that we called in our IPO channel in the Discord, and this was also shared exclusively with the Discord members in our weekly watch list. So the ticker symbol is ZRSP, also known as 0SPO. So in terms of the company, this is a growing, rapidly expanding company with stores on a national scale every year. They continue to tackle challenges in order to realize more comprehensive healthcare into the future. So they are looking at a range of opportunities to work for comprehensive medical networks that include fitness centers, clinics, hospitals and nursing care facilities. So let's have a look at the details from NASDAQ, and we can see here ticker symbol ZRSP, also known as 0SPO. We can see here that we're expecting a share price approximately $4. They have 332 staff working for them, so it's a small company, low float. The offer amount is just in excess of $8.6 million, and the shares offered is 1.5 million shares. So shares over allotted 225,000, and the company is based in Japan. In terms of the address here, they're based in Tokyo, and you can go ahead and check the website off. Total offering expenses just in excess of $910,000, and the lockup period for the insiders who will have shares in this is 180 days. So that is to avoid any insider benefit in terms of profiteering. In terms of the financials, they have a revenue just in excess of 6.2 million. The net income is a loss just in excess of $1 million. Total assets just in excess of $24.4 million. Total liabilities $24.5 million. So we can see the company is not yet profit making, but hopefully if revenue is going up, that will change in the future. And finally, let's have a look at total in terms of a summary of the date. So the anticipated opening time for this to trade on the NASDAQ is January the 30th. So we'll be looking at the offering price of approximately $4 per share. So let's see what happens. Ticker symbol ZRSP. And finally, I'm going to finish off by having a quick review of last week's weekly watch list. So these are some of the stocks that we called out. First one was ticker symbol SWIM. That was up 12.8% on the week. CVKD, that was a great call, up at 30.7% on the week. DWAC, that was the best call of the week. There was a chance to get a 90% return Monday to Tuesday. And we looked at news with regard to Donald Trump. For DWAC, and there was a bit of a sell-off, but it still closed up in excess of 30% on the week. MRII, that was another good call, up in excess of 17.1% on the week. VZ was another call, up 7.5% on the week. ASML, again, another good call, that was up 13.5% on the week. XELB, a good chance to take profits, where it was up 24% Monday to Wednesday, and then still closed up 1% on the week. Obviously there was a sell-off. MRKR, that was up 15% Monday to Tuesday, and also up 5.2% on the week. Tick symbol SAVE, that was up 25% Monday to Tuesday, then a sell-off, and it did close down to 10% on the week. So always important to take profits where you can. Nextly, that was up 9% after Monday's dip, and then that closed level on the week. And LUNR, that was up 12% Monday, and then a sell-off, closing down 5.8% on the week. So not all calls are successful, but certainly many of these are great calls. If you would like to get the next weekly watch list, details are description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.